There's a few things I know in this world. SCP stands for Sicilian Crafted Pussy. 2, it also stands for Secure, Contain, and Pussy. And 3, the SCP website has created some of the most creative and scary monsters that have ever come out of a human mind. Which is why, folks, today we're going to watch Top 22 Scariest SCPs by Top Videos. Of course, folks, check out the original link more for original content creator. Link me in the description. Parts of the video may appear blurred or unfocused. This is due to trademark copyright material from respected owners. Makes me wonder, because I remember SCP had that gigantic copyright war with some Russian guy who just stole the whole website as a greedy fuck. I wonder if that had anything to do with it, or this is completely unrelated. Maybe there's a picture of Mickey Mouse going, "Hey!" And then Walt Disney came out of the grave and went, "I better not catch you oogling my mouse." This close to making me go on a racist tirade. He can't help himself. That Walt Disney just is. Bleh.
Censored beats in this video are classified names or locations that are withheld from public hearing and are therefore edited for legal reasons from the SCP agency.
I had my lid on backwards and I was sucking the drips from my cup. So you can trust me with that information.
Is an organization of numerous doctors, researchers, and agents aiming to understand and catalog anomalous objects and keep
Pokemon fans, am I right?
What
if the owner of SCP is just Ash Ketchum?
Oh, safe or
I need him.
Which can be left alone.
Oh,
Major
just like rubbing the crocodile on his body.
Well
Yes,
objects,
yes.
Containment breaches if not actively watched, and Keter for dangerous objects that will break containment and do harm unless they are surveyed 24/7 and may cause an end-of-the-world scenario. SCP-1351. Object Class Euclid. SCP-1351 is a cave located within the Mammoth Cave National Park in Kentucky.
Oh shit, I've heard about this one.
Enough, this cave in no way follows the rules of gravity, space, nor time.
Well, neither do you. You're the ones who caught it. That's my favorite part about the cave, is that they were able to catch and contain a cave. How did you do that? One guy with a shovel? Don't worry, guys. I got this. Just literally, just picks the shovel up. All right, boys, put it in the van. He's a very strong man. He was an SCP himself. He was known as Big Arm Larry.
As the warp tunnel beneath this sanctuary of the Earth's surface wraps around itself to form its own gravitational point. Basically, the floor begins to twist, and the one rock wall twists alongside it, reassuming positions parallel to its original location. It's been reported that the gravity within the cave depends on the situation and angle of the floor. The cave enters with a hole in the ceiling, which is unusual in comparison to the majority of the caves in the national park. However, the temporal anomalies within the cave itself has gained the most attention, as no one can give logical reason to explain why they happen or how they happen. A standard
I would have thought they would just give up at this point, as that can be described for 99% of most SCPs.
SCP-1351.
Everyone just comes to work and they just go, I have no fucking idea, Jim.
To match nearby park roads which are not open to the general public. The permanent security team are the United States.
That's how they found it. They just put one guy with some binoculars. He's like, whoa! Bill! I think I see a cave. Looks pretty haunted. How do you know? I've seen a lot of caves. That's haunted. Shoot a tank at it.
Surveyed the interior between 1995 and 2002, determining the cavern to be sufficiently safe for a permanent research presence. Research operations are still ongoing.
Wait, if that was the case, why wasn't it considered safe instead of Euclid if it was safe to investigate? What did it do? Fuck with gravity too much.
049.
Got seasick, man.
Object class SCP-049.
Oh, the plague doctor!
Who, in
The
addition to
plague
his
doctor is just
wears a
middle of the
black
road?
hooded robe, replicating that of which worn by plague doctors in 16th century Europe. Further studies reveal that his clothing is actually a part of SCP-049's physical figure.
Wait,
Although it feels like leather,
what?
it is actually the same material as its muscle tissue. 049's touch is invariably lethal to humans, causing the victim to suffer and then die. The plague doctor will dissect the body, injecting certain chemicals into the victim. After a period of a few
Where did he
minutes,
get the
the victim will
chemicals?
resume vital signs and appear to reanimate. However, it seems completely without higher brain functions, and will wander endlessly until it encounters
And then he
another
gets
living
really
human.
depressed
At
that his
point,
new
the
friend doesn't
adrenaline
want to
and
talk to
levels
him.
increase to approximately 300%,
What's even the
as
point?
it will attempt to kill any human beings it can find before returning to its mindless state and wandering until it comes across more humans.
You know, my favorite part of this is he just had those needles and toxins. Whoa, he came out of his nose! That's why he has such a long nose. He has all his needles in there. He gets them with, he tricks them with the old nose pick, but it's where he keeps all of his loot. Also, I did not know that all of that was his skin, like the cloth. Why? And how would you know that? He would have to be dead for you to truly know that it's connected to his body, right? And also, you can't touch him. How did you study him? I don't know. Maybe robots.
Have found several unusual substances within the body, including an
You can't do that to me. Oh. I know why you did that, but you can't do that to me. You can't do that to me. Why did you do that to me? Because now it just sounds like he stuck his dick in him. Oh, why have you done this to me? Yo.
However, several have yet to be identified and remain classified. The behavior of SCP-049 is unpredictable, and although it doesn't seem too menacing, the physical appearance is far from inviting.
You mean murdering people isn't menacing? That's a normal part of society?
Research sector heavily guarded and monitored at all times. It's been noted the SCP is capable of speech, as noted
guy whose
in one of
speech-
the interviews held by Dr.
You can't do that to me! Oh God, it's like someone didn't know Dick was a real name, and they thought, oh shit, Susan's gonna get me in trouble. Beep!
Now playing audio log 2957.
What is this place?
What? It's a
laboratory. It is quite marvelous.
The first thing he said he fucked up. How could you fuck up that quick?
Yeah. You see, I thought you incapable of speech. I'm
And I'm from
somewhat
Brooklyn,
startled
so
you,
I also am incapable of
can't.
speech.
Oh my, yes, good sir, I simply prefer not to. Most victims of the disease are quite melancholy, and I do not react at all well to conversation.
Though I'm having a great
I've
time.
seen you several times now and have not detected the disease in you. Therefore, I assume you are also a doctor.
Yes, actually. Call me but what disease are you talking about?
It's old
Why,
doctor shit.
Doctor, the great pestilence. What else?
Great pestle. Oh, the plague. Yeah, should have seen that coming. But no one here is infected, I can assure you.
You know, like doctor just
I can
raised his
assure you
eyebrows
the
with that one.
pestilence is here,
Huh?
and I can sense it. It is my duty in life to rid the world of it. My cure is the most effective.
Your cure? Your cure has cost hundreds of lives. Your cure is faulty.
Keeps making
Good
zombos.
doctor. My cure is most effective.
For I am a walking dead
Explain
fan.
how it is effective. Answer me. Dr. acknowledges authorized personnel to report to Lab 15A immediately. This interview is over.
Why did you
Subject
have to
refuses
start with the
speak
S? You're making
and will
it
now
so
be
much
placed
worse.
back into containment.
You really screwed us, Dr. Shits. If you offered him some donuts, some cookies, and a delicious brew of hot coffee, I think he would have spilled all the beans. But I gotta admit, Plague Doctor is one of those really interesting characters. He seems evil, but he also seems like this weird entity that's trying to stop something. It does make me wonder if like, the Plague Doctor exists to stop a certain plague that is like another SCP. I feel like there's two pieces to the Plague Doctor.
SCP-1382. Object Class Euclid. SCP-1382 is a Red Sea Mark water buoy floating on the surface of Lake Michigan.
Oh, interesting. I haven't heard this one. I've heard the last two.
Air and sea traffic must be redirected away from containment site. Although SCP-1382 has taken a fair amount of structural damage during its lifetime, it still stands tall, occasionally flashing
little
out the
buoy
SOS
that can.
distress signal in Morse code in 10-second intervals. This mysterious buoy is anchored to a downed airliner lying deep beneath the surface of the water named Flight 441. This derelict aircraft contains the skeletal remains of 56 passengers and crew members who begin to animate, obtaining their natural body temperature of 37.0 degrees Celsius as registered by thermal imaging scanners and assumed.
Oh, what a cool view! Oh, what a great little video!
Of activity, all instances of passengers turn to face SCP-1382.
Oh, that's so well done.
They remain in this position until SCP-1382 ceases its SOS, at which point they collapse and become inert. It has been reported that the passengers are distressed due to the accounts before the crash, as opposed to the crash.
They're a little
itself.
stressed out. They're like, what's all this water doing here? Where's my drinks I ordered? This stinks. That's why I love SCP, folks. That right there, that is creativity personified. You know, we've done the, ooh, it's a spooky haunted ship, but this one truly feels like a unique ghost story. Fantastic. I love it when people come up with cool creative ideas. I don't know if I would say that's scary, though. I feel that's a cool concept or a creepy concept, but I don't know if I'd put it in top 20 scariest. I certainly think the Plague Doctor's scarier, just because he's a weird entity, and I played the SCP game. There's something terrified of seeing a guy do this. Of course, when you've watched enough Star Wars, it does ruin the pose for you.
SCP-002.
Oh, shit!
Object Class Euclid.
Why is there squish in my ears?
SCP-002 resembles a tumorous, fleshy growth with a volume of roughly 60 centimeter cubes.
Oh!
A valve hatch on one side leads to its interior, which appears to be a standard low-rent apartment of modest size. The interior of the fleshy sphere is decorated like a low-cost rented apartment, with furniture made up from biological matter, such as bone, hair, and more.
Guys, I found where Meat Boy was born! And Meat Puppet!
In addition,
and all
to
the
this,
Meat family.
there is also a window to be found on the interior.
So
though
gross.
no such
I
roof
hate
can
the
be
sound
seen
so
when
much,
trying
it's
to
so
view
gross
it
in my ear.
From the exterior.
They got him! They
All
got
matter
him!
tested thus far show independent.
Time out! What sound does the meat piano make? Does it make piano sounds or does it just go squish? But once again, SCP at it again. Every time I think I've heard of every scary scenario, Meat House.
There have been 7 cases of Foundation personnel disappearing after entering this SCP for
Where did it go?
examination. And roughly at the same time, new furniture could be found inside of the room.
They turned them into
consisting
meat
of a lamp and
furniture!
some rugs. The furniture was, again, made up of the biological matter of the human body.
Oh my
Presumably,
god!
The biological matter of the 7 personnel that mysteriously disappeared.
That is horrifying!
As detailed in the archive under the Mulhausen report, SCP-002 was first discovered in a small crater in northern where it struck Earth from orbit in 19.
Oh, so it's an alien! Stupid meat alien turning our citizens into meat chairs. I don't want someone to put their butt on my meat body. And back. And you're under arrest. Nah, I'm just kidding. Go on. Keep doing your little drug scandals, you little scamps. Hey, let's watch some other video.
SCP-804. Object Class Keter. SCP-804 is said to be the remnants of a sculpture found by a group of artists. Said sculpture consists of a model transparent globe.
Something very funny about how you go from the scary meat house to the globe. Whoa. Can I use this to find out where Africa is located? Yes, but also probably destroy the world. I don't want to destroy it. I just want to know where it is on the... Why can't we just have normal things here in the SCP universe?
Any man-made material within a 100-meter radius, including the tissue of a human being, will gradually decay.
But that's not man-made at all.
Inanimate objects, such as
I don't go in the lab and make an arm real quick.
Anything else of the sort, the speed of decay is slightly accelerated.
That is
Biologically speaking, however,
terrifying.
the corrosion of the body is a great deal slower and requires a long period of exposure to cause any permanent or noteworthy damage.
What, did Thanos disintegrate and turn into a ball?
Body mass and lead
Before I
to
die,
symptoms
I
of
wish to be a
severe
marble.
starvation. But both of these aspects can be fixed with the correct amount of medical care. Exposed to whatever force this SCP admits for an extended period of time would cause the skeleton to collapse and inevitably lead to death. Tests have been carried out to see
Disappointed
if
it
the
doesn't
results
come to life
obtained from
and
the
celebrate
reaction of
Halloween.
Human matter would be the same as with animal matter, but to no avail. Because of the nature of SCP-804, it is not contained within any Foundation facility, believing the effects of the SCP could destroy its own containment and seriously compromise any other containment nearby.
Are you sure it's not just Santa Claus stopping kids from getting to his factory? I'm on to you, fat man.
Object Class Safe.
Nothing scarier than safe.
SCP-2998 is an anomalous radio signal picked up from all quarters of the solar system. It's not yet known where the origin of this signal is, or when it began its transmission.
How did you capture it?
But the SCP Foundation made it a point to
Did you
prevent
get like a
all
folder
personal
on your
radios
laptop and
from
go,
detecting
get in there?
and listening to SCP-2998 until further research is conducted into the safety of the signal, as well as its origin.
I like to believe it's a demon that sneezed and it just echoed through time. He's like,
Signal, which previews white noise at all times. No means have been found to decode the signal until 2011, when the signal was also found to contain a video transmission of a humanoid entity floating aimlessly in a dark room.
Oh, that's freaking
No
cool.
background information has thus far been obtained about what this message could possibly mean, or why the message is being transmitted at all.
Or
Due to
is the
bodily
message a
gestures
man?
that the aforementioned humanoid was conducting, it can be presumed that whatever it was in clear physical distress. It was initially theorized that the Foundation may
It's
be
a very
picking up
spooked
signals
ghost.
from a television show, though this was considered highly unlikely due to the random and complex encoding of the transmission.
Is he
We
attacking now?
simply do not know.
Am I being hacked by a demon ghost? Let me pause here. Very important. I gotta take a safe demon ghost. Very important that you guys know this. I can't be just throwing out accusations left and right about demon ghosts. This is why I fall in love with SCP. They take something that should be common and boring. It's sound, and you're just like, oh, well, that's boring. And then a sound that can be formed into like a beat. What? What kind of crazy mind came up with it? A genius, that's who. Same with the orb. Like, the orb should be dumb. It's a giant globe in the middle of the Antarctic. But the fact that it destroys anything man-made, like, when you give randomness intention, it freaks you out. Because you're like, why? Why does it only do it there, but not to this? it makes you question things, and that, I think, is a great technique when it comes to storytelling and making a great SCP. I hope this one's a sloth
SCP
that points at you, and
1875.
then you've got
Object
it buttons
class.
up your shirt.
Euclid.
I can come up with SCPs too.
SCP-1875 is a Victorian-era chess machine consisting of a steel chessboard table,
Oh,
a drive
shit.
shaft, a stationary steam engine, and a suit of 18th century samurai armor. However,
What?
the machine itself is powered
What?
by a biological system that controls a matrix of 64 electromagnets using an engine created from the combined brain tissue of the twin daughters of a Russian chess prodigy. A complete set of 32 pieces carved in the Oriental style from human bone, with each piece affixed to a thin 0.31 centimeter base pad of ferromagnetic iron. Effectively, the whole thing runs on the souls.
Do you think the guy who
of the
wrote
two
this
little
knew what he
girls.
was talking about, or he's just
It
like,
is said
oh, I
that the
need
souls
fancy
perform
words. That
illegal
one.
moves during a game and make illogical
That's what I would
turns
do.
whilst playing.
The Zorbulon
SCP-1875
factory
containment
made me
permit
the
no use of data network
electrical
devices,
magnetic
child psychologist to be present. The Euclid
Tools.
ranking of this SCP seems
That'd be
very
fucked.
appropriate, considering the fact that we do not fully understand how it works, nor why it works, nor
We have no
what
idea how to
it
play
is.
chess.
Only the premise is understood at this point.
You think that's scary? You haven't seen this guy. Now that's scary. That's Russian, that's scary, and that is chess.
SCP-823 is an abandoned amusement park located in a
It's been a while.
nicknamed Bloody Sunday because of the 231 people dying in the theme park due to the accidents of staff members and customers alike. The majority of these deaths were horrifically violent. Some examples include a mascot found dead of suffocation, a
Who
group of people found
suffocated Goofy?
decapitated on a roller coaster, a couple fused together on a ride, and a mutilated man found in the Hall of Mirrors.
What the
Foundation personnel are found surveying the area and are instructed to avoid an area known as the Red Zone. The Red Zone is an area where no one can enter,
And has a
not
lot
even
of
by those
hookers.
of the highest authority. It isn't stated as to why the Red Zone cannot be accessed, but it does claim that anyone who attempts to enter will be terminated by sniper fire.
Why is
Should
that
music of piping
necessary?
be heard emanating from
What?
within the Red Zone, Foundation personnel on site are immediately prepared to use protective earplugs and withdraw from their positions to a 2-kilometer period beyond the currently established Yellow Zone.
What the fuck is in there? What is that? Covenant in there? What is in there? What am I gonna go in there and be like, is that you, God? Are you in there? He's like, yeah, you crazy kid. He accidentally sneezed and someone fused together on a roller coaster. Get out of here. And if not, why? Why is it like, someone could die if they went into the red zone? So shoot them on sight. We gotta make sure they don't get killed. We gotta protect them from themselves. Goosh!
And inform Foundation scientific personnel immediately.
I love that picture, by the way. That roller coaster is just terrifying. And also, like, hypnotic. Really great picture.
SCP-1981. Object Class, Safe.
This SCP is the 80s itself.
Or
Look at these
commonly
outfits.
referred
Ah!
to as Ronald Reagan cut up.
Oh! Is it his cut up voice? Is this the first YouTube poop ever made of Ronald Reagan? And can't have the great legacy of old Reagan get shit upon.
Is a strange, distorted videotape of Ronald Reagan making his evil empire speech. The tape itself is made from all the normal materials that you would expect to get from a Betamax tape. The tape was originally encountered by a filing clerk in the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in 1991, 11 years after this original speech was made.
Ow!
The tape,
It's Wiggly
Reagan's
Reagan.
face
You
seemed
guys
to
got
fall
the wrong
apart,
guy.
cuts opening up on his face and eyes becoming bruised. The video continues until his
He was
vocal
old,
cords
man.
are severed.
That happens when you're old.
Occasionally,
You turn your
during
head
the
and you
beginning
got
of the tape,
bleeding all over
a figure
yourself.
clothed in black robes and a pointed hood appears in the background, which replaces another member of the press detail.
Just Nancy Reagan.
SCP-1981 is kept
Don't worry
inside
about
of
it.
a secure
Also,
video
I am
storage
guessing if that's
unit
his
in
wife's
the
name.
media archive of Psych- Years
Said
of
that?
magnetic interference have severely degraded SCP-1981's signal quality, making it even more difficult to sift meaningful information from continued playbacks. SCP-342. Object Class: Euclid. SCP-342 normally takes the form of a mass transit ticket for the closest form of mass transportation to its current location. At the moment, it takes the form of a train ticket, departing from transit station. When held by
Is
a
that not
sentient
gonna ever
person
make me
for
laugh?
any length of time, it will
I'm
eventually
so
change
easily
form
fucking
into a transit
tickled.
ticket for a form of transportation that its holder desires to use. The transformation always takes place when not being directly or indirectly observed.
You think the creature that
No
is the
recordings
ticket
of
wanted this?
SCP-342 changing its form exist at this
Like this
time.
creature's just like, you know what I want my life to be?
Anyone who uses
A different ticket for the rest of my life.
SCP-342 to
I wanna
board a
fuck with
vehicle
people.
is unable to exit the vehicle by any means. When the vehicle reaches the end of its route, the one using the ticket will cease to exist in our reality.
What? What do you mean in the reality? Did you go to heaven or hell to check?
Extremely paranoid and have an uncomfortable and uncontrollable dread consume them. Specifically, the way in which they describe
Also,
their
if he doesn't
emotions
exist,
when
how do you
in
know?
contact with the ticket
How do you
resembles
have
acute
evidence of
paranoid
this?
Schizophrenia, as all will witness a perception of darkness outside of their vehicle, including a mass amount of fog or the portrayal of night.
Oh,
Witness
it's Silent Hill
reports
6.
claim that victims mumble to themselves or grow an intense fear of other passengers and the conductor.
Wait, so you're telling me people see him, so does he just go, oh! Hey, was there a guy sitting here? I swear there was a very ugly, hairy man sitting right there. I'm blaming this on the Republicans and Ronald Reagan. I think he did this. I'm gonna make a tape about that. I'm gonna make a tape about that.
SCP-610. Object Class:
I don't want to be here. What am I hearing?
SCP-610 is a contagious virus that starts out with a small rat.
Well, shit, it sounds like
will
he's
then lead
inside
to
me.
intense itching and skin sensitivity.
Oh, I hate that
After
face right
3
there.
hours, the skin disease will spread in such a way that skin will begin to scar and cover in blemishes around the chest and arm region.
When does the
completely
exploding
consuming
happen?
The affected person after a full 5 hours of being infected. Following this is the life functions ceasing for a full 3 minutes before starting again at a rate of 2 or 3 times the regular activity rate for a
So
standard
it
human
reboots
being.
like an old
This
computer.
leads to the sprouting of several limbs, like a leg or an arm. The skin disease can affect one in such a way that the head will become so misshapen it will barely be recognizable as being
That's pretty
human.
hard for me already, but
The victim will sit in
Sometimes
one
people look
place
at me and go, "Is that a
root
car?"
itself to the surroundings
that's a human.
that it is located in.
the ugliness,
consuming
it really
objects
fools you.
around it with his or her own flash.
That's the SCP
The
icon.
area that SCP-610 affects is close to Lake Baikal in southern Siberia.
Oh,
It
can
was
we
first
please end this
reported
one?
from
The
the
sounds
Russian
give me the
government
fucking
through
ASMR chili
undisclosed
willies.
channels.
Ugh.
The reports consisted primarily of disappearances of farmers. in
Why
the
does it
region
go after
that were
farmers?
not
It's
considered
the ghost of
until
an
local
angry
police and
chicken?
Government agents failed to report within a 72-hour period. Observation of SCP-610
God.
infected settlements have been established using artificial methods such as remote robots and drones.
Haha, suck it,
The data
virus.
returned from these
We
observations,
got the Terminator.
coupled with the openly aggressive nature of the infected to attempt to spread SCP-610, has resulted in the Keter classification. However, so long as nothing is allowed to enter or leave the infected areas, it is considered to be a neutralized threat.
Yo! I have no idea if that picture has anything to do with like the actual story, but whoever made that, ugh! Looked like a fish man stuck in some bones.
SCP-122. Object class.
Also, can we make a rule that no longer that you
As
make
strange
like
as it may
squeaky
sound,
noises? I don't like the squishy noises.
SCP-122 is a child's nightlight designed to look like a star. This product is unregistered and has
I had
no
a slime
brand
tell me
name
I'm a
written
star.
anywhere on the structure, so it's safe to presume that this nightlight is but an anomaly of its kind. Reports indicate that when it is in an unpowered state, the nightlight will affect anyone within a 500-meter radius of its location. When anyone enters the radius, they will slip into an REM sleep and will be sent into a comatose state until the nightlight has recharged itself.
Damn, that's a good nightlight. Do you know how many times I was a kid and the nightlight was on? I'm like, oh man, I'm really scared of the monster. But also, this light is keeping me up all night. This nightlight, on the other hand, is just like, hey, does this smell like chloroform to you?
While comatose, subjects will claim that they have seen humanoid figures that are formed from a black, translucent mass of shadow from somewhere around the light.
Never mind, I don't want a
Figures
shadow
have been
figure
described
beting me
as
up.
sentient, with physical
Stop it, I
properties
just want
similar to that
snoozes.
of the subject. In a powered state, the sleep pattern of the subject will be affected greatly. Claims have been made that the subjects will have disturbing and psychological
That's the
tormenting
shadow monster?
dreams
That's
that
the
have
tank
often
from
led
Left 4
to
Dead. Don't you
insomnia.
try to fool me.
SCP-122 was first discovered within the Linnell Children's Hospital on the after several reports of its manifestations reached locally embedded agents. Recovered documents indicate that a patient brought SCP-122 when being admitted. However, no record of the patient's identity has been found. SCP-122 is stored in a standard containment chamber containing a single electrical outlet. Personnel are instructed to routinely monitor SCP-122 at all times and never let it enter an unpowered state.
You ever just sit there and wonder, why don't you go, alright, it's in a down power state. Smash. Why does no one try to smash it? Why does no one try the caveman techniques that I love so dearly?
Now tampering with the SCP-122's chamber lock. When questioned, the subjects claimed that they had done so under duress, saying that a canary was not allowing them to sleep until they released SCP-122.
He's letting his pet canary
Affected
fuck with
subjects
people?
were given Class A
Go.
anesthetics and containment procedures.
It's not even a
to protect
ghost
their
canary.
lives.
It's just an actual canary. Release me from my peanut shell.
The brown substance on the floors of the room seemed to be a combination of feces and blood.